Now, hours after withdrawing his High Court libel claim against the Mail on Sunday, Prince Harry has arrived at an awards ceremony in Los Angeles.
The Duke of Sussex says he wants to focus now on the safety of his family and his legal action against the Home Office.
He was suing the newspaper over an article about his publicly funded security arrangements when visiting the UK.
And apparently he'll now have to pay the Mail on Sunday's legal costs as well as his own. And that could come to something like £750,000.
Oh, well, it's not as if he hasn't got it. Let's talk to royal correspondent and writer Michael Cole. Morning, Michael. It's an awful situation, is it, when most of us see this headline and think, oh, well, thank heaven, serves him right, which I hate, but it is how most of us feel.
Good morning, Stephen. Good morning, Anne. Yes, a bad day yesterday for the Sussexes in their California Camelot. The Prince of Litigation throwing in the towel in this libel case, and a very expensive decision as well at the very last minute. As you've just said, his costs are going to be enormous, £250,000, £250,000, the newspaper's costs, and then another £500,000 of costs that he has accrued in bringing this case and then dropping it peremptorily as it was about to go to the next stage. The libel courts, of course, are open to us all, but like the Ritz Hotel, there is open to us all, but they're both very expensive. And in libel cases, there is no legal aid. You pay your own tab. This is a great deal of money, particularly as you don't seem to be doing much in the way of work around the place, apart from litigating in the British courts, because although this case has been dropped, the Prince still has cases outstanding, as you've said, against the Home Office and against the publishers of the Sun newspaper and of the Daily Mail associated newspapers. So it goes on, but this one has been ticked off expensively. And after his success against the Mirror Group a few months ago, this is going to be definitely a blow to the man we see there coming out of the courts. What was interesting about it is that the Mail put forward the defence that what they'd written was an honest opinion. And I think it's important to say that the judge, and I'm going to read what he said, this defence of honest opinion is fundamental to the protection of freedom of expression under English law. And I think that will be music to many people's ears.
I can't help but feel sorry for him. I mean, I'm critical of him as well, I think, as most of us are. But you feel sorry for him because he's got so many court cases going on at the moment. There's such hostility going on in his life. It must be taking a toll on him, mustn't it?
And I've seen him from the time he was a little boy, the day he went to nursery school for the first time with his mother, and coming out with his finger puppet to take home to show his mother afterwards. I've seen him on his first holidays abroad with his family. And of course, we've seen him grow up. And let us remember the happy prince. Let us remember the prince we admired for doing 2 tours of arduous duty in Afghanistan. He was extraordinarily popular, and then it all went sideways, and they scooted off, first of all, to Canada and then to California, which may have been Meghan Markle's original destination anyway. So it is, as you say, very sad to see it brought to this particular stage. He has said in recent days that he misses Britain, that he misses his friends, he misses the sport, he misses the camaraderie, he misses a lot about this country. And in a way, I think we miss him. And of course, with the recent events, both the Princess of Wales in hospital and the King going into hospital, there would have been a very important role for him to pick up some slack here and play his full part in the royal family. And, never say never. The prodigal son is always welcome. perhaps he should be back here, and perhaps even he thinks that. I can't imagine what was going through his mind when he heard that his sister-in-law, about whom he's been rather unkind, indeed cruel, in his book Spare, which we were talking about a year ago, and indeed in other books, which he appears to have been involved, Omid Scobie's book, and so on. I wonder what he thought about that, because there's a woman who's gone into hospital. It's quite clearly not a trivial thing. It's not a minor matter. I don't think we could exaggerate the seriousness of it all, staying in hospital for two weeks, which doesn't happen these days. Doctors, as soon as you're ambulatory, on your feet, they send you home. So we don't know. It is all the greatest pity, and it doesn't have to happen. But for this litigation, you have to be a litigant. These are cases he has brought, not have been brought upon him.
Absolutely.
Michael, we've got to leave it there. Good to see you this morning.